Good morning. I have Mel here who has had a bit of a boo-boo. So she has a nail that started lifting at the back, probably because of length. But I did quickly I thought I might just do a live whilst I am actually doing it so that you guys can see what you would do in a case like this. So I love using my True 2 jack for debulking in a case like this. I just find that it is the easiest drill bit to use to do things like this. So I'll be using my PM portable with my True 2 jack, and we're just going to start by debulking and seeing how far the damage has gone. Just let me know if anybody's online and if you have any questions. I'm going to try my best to stay on top of it and stay in screen, so let me know if I don't. So we should get some glitter onto this nail. So, ooh, and my battery's dead. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll just plug it in. And we might have to have it on this side. Apologies. Okay. Good morning, Trina. Good morning, Amy. So we did some sugaring glitter on this nail from the Fairy Cheek range. So I'm just going to take that off so that we can get down to the bare enhancement and see what it looks like and what we're dealing with in terms of the extent of the lifting. I love the True 2 jack bit for this specifically because of the straight edges. You'll find that it'll smoothly remove any product and it won't cut gouges into the nail. Whereas something like the big one is really great for debulking and removing 3D art, but it doesn't really maintain that shape. So this bit works much better for maintaining your shape. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you can see, but it's lifted about 2/3 of the way down. So I'm going to try and file away all of that lifting using my bit. Good morning, Sarah. So how we do that is we just file down a little bit, keeping an eye on where we're at, and then we want to file on the seam of where the product has lifted. What that does is it thins that connection point, and then eventually you'll find you'll get through that connection point and it'll just lift off. Now you can choose to soak this whole nail off if you wanted to, but I just find that I don't like really soaking off unnecessarily. So I like to try and file through and then just file on the natural nail what we need to. So just the bit that's lifted basically. So I like to approach it like that. So then all of that lifting is lifted up, and I'm just going to get a little bit closer to it, just debulk it down, and then we'll do a backfill to deal with the product that I've just removed. You'll note that I'm constantly moving my bit. I'm not ever staying in one spot. These specialty carbide bits are great. They don't really produce a lot of heat, but we want to be careful and mindful that we don't stay in one spot for too long. Now, this nail that we're doing here, this was the first set I've done on Mel, so you will notice that we have a little bit of damage from previous sets, because Mel has been known to go to non-standard salons in the past, so there is a little bit of damage from that. So we're still working on her recovery program with her nails. Okay. So now I'm going to just switch to my diamond crosscut bit. This is one of my new favorite bits, just because it works really, really well at slow speed on the natural nail, but it also works really well to remove any lifted product. If you're at the point where you're too scared to get close to the nail with your other bits, it's great to switch to this bit if you're struggling a little bit. Good morning, Tina. Now this is kind of like it's like a sanding band, but in a reusable bit. Basically, you'll use it for the same functions that you would a sanding band, but obviously the diamonds just remove the shine a little bit more smoothly because they're a little bit more regulated in the diamond sizes as opposed to a sanding band, the coarseness of it. And it's obviously also sanitizable, so it just works out a little bit more cost effective using using your crosscut diamond as opposed to your sanding bands. You'll get about 360 to 720 depending on the amount of sets and how much you use this bit out of it, and that works out a lot more cost effective than the sanding bands. So you just wash it with your antibacterial soap and water and a brush in between, and then use your sterilizing solution to disinfect your bit. Sorry, I'm talking too much and not doing. Okay, so that's good. Oh, so I use this, so on enhancements you can go up to 15,000 RPMs with your crosscut diamond when you're buffing or smoothing over the surface. On the natural nail, I would tend to use it between 5,000 RPMs and 10,000 RPMs. I wouldn't really go much faster than that. 10,000 RPMs is really more for your clients that have a really thick buildup of true cuticle on the natural nail. So yeah, just play around with it, see what works for you. I might just go in and prep that natural nail. So I'm gonna pop it on 5, and I'm just gonna go in and just give that a quick. Buff. It's really nice because it's skin safe, so you can push back the skin and the cuticles a little bit with this bit. We'll go in, I spray the one on my manicure brush, and I just go in and give that a quick scrub. So as you can see here from past sets, she has a few rings of fire. So we're trying to not file over those areas too much, and trying to maintain the integrity of her nails at this stage, whilst we're still in the recovery stage. And I do just have a little bit there that's just been nagging, so I'm just going to grab my file. So sometimes you can try as much as you want with your e-file, and sometimes you just need to reach for your hand file. I am very old school when it comes to stuff like that, because I worked with hand file, or I only hand file for so long, but some stuff, you just, you're set in your ways. So with some stuff, I just feel like I need to reach for my hand file a little bit more. Good to test on yourself. Yes, that is a really good point, Tina. Okay, perfect. So that is prepped and good to go. So I'm gonna just go in with some nail prep and sticky bond, and I'm going to do this repair with acrylic. This was a Vogue nail that we had on here. The reason why I'm choosing to do acrylic is I don't showcase acrylic on here enough. I feel like I show a lot of Vogue. I also feel like this is due to pressure because Mel likes this length, and acrylic will just hold that a little bit better. So we're going to just do this repair with acrylic. So I'm going to go in with nail prep. So nail prep helps to dehydrate and sanitize, but it also helps to regulate the pH of the natural nail. And that's why I like to always reach for nail prep as my first base for my enhancements. And then I go in with my sticky bond, which is my favorite primer. You can use this on Vogues too. No, you can. You most definitely can use this bit on Vogues. I love using it, especially in the nudes, to blend around the cuticle area. Because it's a grinding bit, you'll find that it won't remove a lot of your product. It'll gradually remove it. Whereas your Vogue blending cone, because it's a cutting bit, when you're using that with your midnight glass or your in the nudes, you'll find that you'll cut some of the color away. Whereas this will just grind it gradually down. I sprayed the one. Sorry, I'll show you. This is our 6-in-1 multifunctional solution. So it is 99.9% IPA or isopropyl alcohol. So you can use that to sanitize the nails, the skin. You can use it as a waterless hand sanitizer, and you can use it to disinfect your implements. Okay, so now we're just going to apply a little bit of sticky bond. Now, because I'm doing acrylic over my Vogues, I'm just going to apply that sticky bond all the way over. Just because we're now infilling with a different system. So sticky bond just helps you to do that bridge between the two systems. Hi, Beth. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to need is I'm going to need my monomer. I'm going to need my brush. I'll be using my number 8 PN Master Kolinsky brush. Obviously my Planet Nails monomer. And then I'm going to use one of my special mixes. And I know that's going to sound a little frustrating, but sometimes I do like to, if I can find it, I do like to mix my acrylics, and the reason why I would reach for this one today, see that one's got rocks on it. This is a 50% cover pink, 50% dark pink mix. And the reason why I like to use that when I'm using it with something like over my In the Nude Vogues is it's a color that's very similar to that tip color. So it'll just infill it beautifully. I'm using my monomer dispenser for my liquid. If you've seen any of my acrylic lives or videos, you'll notice that I always use that. And the reason why is it just helps to minimize the odors that's flying around. It helps to keep my monomer nice and clean. So because you're constantly dispensing new monomer into the top of the dappen dish, if you were to contaminate your monomer with some powder or glitter or whatever, it's really easy to clean it, as opposed to contaminating the whole dappen dish if you're using dappen dishes. It's a personal preference, and it does take some getting used to, but once you're used to it, it's also harder to go back to a dappen dish. So that's why you'll always notice that I'll use my monomer dispenser, because that's what I'm used to. So we'll pick up a small bead, and we'll start with our connection point. Want to turn it over, count to 3, make sure that your consistency is right. If you feel like it's a little bit too wet, because it's cold in here today, you can offload a little bit of your liquid, pop it onto the nail, offload liquid, work your bead from side to side, so you're getting in to that connection point. And pull it down. Now see how perfect that color match is between the nail and the base of the nail? that's why I reached for this color. Oh, very shaky this morning. Down, go this side, this side, and draw it down. Making sure that you're not touching skin, giving yourself a little bit of time to work it, draw it down. So you're trying to sculpt the nail as close to the finish shape as possible. And you'll notice that I'm pointing the nail down slightly. That just helps the product run down as opposed to back into the cuticle. And now I'm just going to do a thin layer over the rest of the enhancement, just so that we have a nice bridge between the two products and that we can add a little bit of rigidity to that free edge. You always want to do this if you're infilling with your acrylic over your bows, so that there's no flex differentiation between the products and you don't get surface breakdown. So all of the Planet Nail products work in perfect synergy with each other, and that means that you can do exactly what I'm doing now. So like if you did folks with your first enhancement and you wanted to infill with your acrylic, you can do that. You just need to bear in mind how those two products will interact. And that's why I've opted to do sticky bond over the whole enhancement, and then just to do a very thin layer of acrylic over the rest of that bow too, so that there's no flex differentiation. And that's how I would do a repair on somebody that's had lifting at the back. So this is due to overflex of the nail, so probably from pressure or from making a bed or whatever. When the nail becomes unbalanced and it's a little bit longer, instead of breaking, it gets pressure lifting, so at the back it'll start to lift. So we'll just simply file away any of that lifted product, and then we infill it with product again, and then we start again. Oh yes, I love it too, Tina. It's one of my favorites. That's why my name's on it. Okay guys, I hope you have a lovely day, and if you have any questions after this live, please pop it in the comment section below, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Bye.